tears pushing in from the back of his throat as he remembers that day. He isn't normally so nostalgic and has never been much for fantasy, but he feels himself doing it, pretending, again, that he is still that riled-up young man knocking on an old woman's door, wanting to start a new life. As opposed to the older man he now is, an empty house behind him, no one to answer how he'd gotten it wrong, how he'd ended up here, emotional and weary, but willing to say out loud, to finally say out loud, all the things he wished he could undo. It isn't regret, exactly. It isn't anything as cliched or inactive as regret. No, it is penance. That is why he keeps playing the moments back on an unforgiving loop, the moments he is trying to return to relive. The first moment at 18, then at 20, and 26, and 37, and 45, 58, 61, 68. In the ways that matter, it is all the same moment, isn't it? The same choice. You move toward your destiny, or you move away. He digs his feet into the white rock, a light rain starting to fall. When exactly did this place become a referendum on what he'd failed to do? It would be easy, and probably wrong, to name that shift as a recent occurrence. But however it happened, slowly and at once, Windbreak is now the place that reminds him of himself the most. The irony of that. Instead of the escape he assumed it would be, a reprieve from the childhood home that he'd run from, it has turned out to be the opposite. It is his time capsule. He turns and looks at Windbreak, the small craftsman, all the lights on, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a galley kitchen, a house, a cottage, that is smaller than the guest houses on any of the neighboring properties, let alone the 8,000-square-foot main houses. Everyone assumed he'd knock the small house down eventually, build anew. This bungalow, perfect and misplaced, wasn't nearly big enough to house a large family. It wasn't big enough for his families, certainly. But it wasn't as simple as building a larger home. He was always nervous to bring his daughter here when she was small, and then the boys when they were. The Palisades were no security from the drastic edges. That cliffside was too precipitous, 80 feet down to the ocean, and the rock, and the California coast. What if they fell? What if any one of them with their small, quick legs and ready elbows went over the edge before he could catch them? That's what he told himself, at least. Is it even the truth? Or is the truth simpler? He always liked to be here alone. Alone or with her. He peers out over the edge, the waves lapping 80 feet below, the bluffs jagged and beautiful and strong. And he knows that, no, it isn't just selfishness. He's certain of that. He's certain that he was trying, in his way, to protect his children. Even when he failed, and he doesn't kid himself, he failed far more often as a father than he succeeded, he did want to protect them. When, mere moments later, Liam Samuel Noon is pushed over that edge, airborne and pivoting, this is in fact his last thought. For all his faults, his very last thought. Better me than them. Part 1. The architect works in the territory of memory. Mario Botta. Open houses.
So what do you think? Can it even be salvaged?
She asks. I'm standing in the doorway of a 5-story brownstone in Brooklyn, perched at the edge of Cobble Hill. In my professional opinion, the brownstone is remarkable as it is. An extra wide with steel windows, original banisters, wainscot ceilings some 12 feet above, and an 1,800-square-foot rooftop garden, which looks over a lush and lovely corner of Henry Street. I turn to look at Morgan, my client. What do you mean by salvage?